Saddle up. You're on the Lineman Life YouTube channel. Good evening, Brother Lineman. Man, it sure looks like the bad weather is out in the Midwest, and the South's even getting a little bit of it too. But in the Midwest, you've got Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Looks like lots of tornadoes and now lots of flooding. In the South, they're getting temperatures over 100 degrees, which is never a good thing for an electric utility. So I hope everybody out there is helping those customers get their lights back on and everybody gets home safe. When the storms hit, it's time to roll because that's what we do. If you're out there working, leave me a comment or drop me an email when you get a chance and let me know how it went. On to this evening. If you've ever worked on a line crew, you probably have the opportunity at some point to either fill out an accident report or see what's written on the accident report, because in this day and age, all utilities want everything documented about anything and everything that happens out there in the field. I personally filled out several accident reports, and I've come across and read many, many, many more. I ran across an email that's a response from a foreman, and this foreman had an accident on his crew. And he filled out the accident report, but the safety director is asking him for more information about what happened out there in the field. So here's that email. I'm going to read it to you. The title of the email is Your Groundman's Accident Report. Dear Safety Director, I'm replying to your email requesting additional information for Section 3 of our company accident report. I put poor planning as the cause of the accident that happened on the crew. Since I'm the foreman of that crew, I'll share the full story. I hope these details will help you understand what happened. My line crew was working on replacing a pole that had been identified as being rotten. We had to work the pole hot because there were several businesses were on the line and they did not want to have their power out. The pole that was being replaced was in an alley, and there were several fences and buildings which made for a tight job. Only one truck could fit in the alley at a time, so we put the bucket truck in the alley, we covered up, fanned out the primary. We then came down, backed in the line truck, set the new pole. Then we went and took the line truck out, brought the bucket truck back in to transfer the primary. After the pole had been replaced and transferred, my lineman in the bucket asked me, hey, instead of swapping the bucket and line truck again to pull the pole, could we just top the pole in pieces and lower the hand line? Since this was near the end of the day and it was hot, I thought this would be a good idea and save some time. I was thinking we would have to have some extra time to slow roll back to the barn. My lineman placed the hand line pulley on the new pole. He split the hand line and tied the return line around the top of the old pole. The lineman also wanted to clean out his bucket, so he loaded up a grunt bucket with some old pole hardware and clipped it on the hand line. He then yelled out to my groundman, hand line! The groundman knew the top of the pole would be heavy when it was cut off, so he wrapped his hand around the hand line several times to make sure the hand line did not slip back through his hand. The lineman misjudged and cut off too large a piece of the pole with the chainsaw. With physics being what it is, the groundman was immediately launched off the ground and upward at a high rate of speed. As the groundman was racing up the pole, about halfway up he collided with the cut-off pole and grunt bucket that was coming down at an equally fast speed. When he was hit, he broke his collarbone and broke his nose. This only slowed him down slightly. The pole and bucket then passed him and continued toward the ground. When the groundman reached the top of the hand line, his hand was pulled into the pulley and a couple of his fingers were broken. When the pole hit the ground, the knot the lineman had tied around it came loose, which lightened the load. Now the groundman was falling back towards the ground at a high rate of speed when he passed the grunt bucket with the hardware, which was on its way back up. The bucket hit him right in the nuts. The groundman finally landed on the ground right on top of the cut-off pole and broke both feet. As he was laying there crying in pain, I think he was thinking he was just glad to be alive. Unfortunately, he lost focus, he let go of the hand line, and cried out for help. It was then that the grunt bucket with the pole hardware fell back to the ground and hit him in the head, fracturing his skull. I hope this helps you to understand how the groundman hurt himself. I'm happy to report that he is in the hospital, but is in good spirits. He is looking forward to returning to the crew in a couple of months. The doctor said he might have a permanent limp from the broken feet, but is lucky in that he should be able to have children. Sincerely, Seymour Payne, working foreman. With that, I'm knocking off for the evening. Always appreciate the support everybody gives me. Appreciate the comments, appreciate the emails. If you like what you hear, share my podcast, share my YouTube channel, and tell a friend about it. So as always, keep safe and remember, you are your brother's keeper. Aloha.